What's up, everybody? Tim Anderson here, aka Renfill. It's a Monday Musings episode. I had gotten 45 minutes into recording one of these and just didn't like the direction I was going. I was being a little too ranty about stuff, so I decided to just try to keep it more candid and less ranty. But I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about right now, so I went off into another topic, so we're re-recording this. If this is your first time tuning in and you're a new follower, I do Monday Musings as my personal vlog space where I talk about life and love and Chris and I, and maybe I'll get Chris on here to do one of these with me one day. We'll see. Um, in any case, let's just do this. I'm pre-recording this on the 24th of July at almost 11 a.m. and these go out on Monday mornings. So first and foremost, let me say a huge thanks to all of our community members. As of yesterday, during the 12-hour marathon stream that we played, we hit our monthly objective for the YouTube Super Chats, which was $750 for the month. We have done $750 in transactions on YouTube for the month, which equals all the super chats and stickers that people have done for the month, which is awesome. Thank you so much to those of you who have been supporting me as a content creator. This is my second month on YouTube, and it's the second month that I've hit my objectives to being a full-time content creation. If we could do this one more month in the month of August, and I continue to see the net growth that we have seen throughout this journey, then I will consider myself a bona fide YouTuber, and I will not worry about part-time work ever again. I will only do this plus what I'm doing with game dev with my brother. But as of yesterday, we hit our objective. So all of you who have been out there doing super thanks on videos like these, or super chats and stickers during live streams, we hit our objectives. Awesome. Now, today's video, I am going to be talking a little bit about the numbers. Coming up in August, July marks my 6th month of being monetized on YouTube. And I am going to be doing a big video update in August, which is going to be probably 45 minutes long or so, where I'm really going to just dive into the numbers and I'm going to show everyone my journey as a content creator. Now, my journey is different than a lot of other people's journeys because I'm in a unique position where I have a house that's paid for, I have no debt, no mortgage, no school loans, nothing. So we only need several $100s a month to pay our bills, which means I don't need thousands of dollars a month to support me, which makes me very unique in that my journey towards full-time content creator is has been a lot easier than it has been for others, and it may be a lot quicker than it is for many people without having some sort of gimmick in there because I don't have big boobs and I don't do hot tub streaming and I don't lick microphones for a living. So I'm just having to be myself, and I haven't put on a personality yet. Um, I suppose I could do a version of Dr. Disrespect, like I could become a hold on. Do you want me to become a super Chad? I can become a super Chad for the stream. I could totally put on a personality and become somebody for YouTube if that's what it takes. But the cool thing is, it hasn't been required. People have been very happy to just have me be me and do the things I'm doing and be a part of the groups that I'm a part of, hanging out and streaming with Nathan and Sparrow and Kel and Bounty and Skinny and Maduros and all these people that we're friends with and that we're streaming with. Thankfully, you, the community, have enjoyed that, and I'm not having to put on a gimmick to, make a living at YouTube. So let's see if we can make August as good of a month as July. And here's the thing, we still have another week left in July. So here's the thing, if you like this video and you want to support my journey as a content creator, it doesn't stop here. Yeah, we hit our minimums, but that's not that's just getting the bills paid. There's no money being put into the savings account at this point. Like I'm just not spending money from the savings, which is nice to be able to, but it's basically essentially I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And if you want to do the raw math, using last month's numbers, I netted $716 last month. That's the net that I made last month. So if and that's not taxes, sorry, that's the net that I made after the cuts that, YouTube takes and everybody else, Which, by the way, I'm absolutely happy with the cut that YouTube takes because they promote the hell out of me on their platform. The algorithm is amazing. The tools that they give me as analytics is amazing, and they're allowing me to do what I want to do full time, which is great. So I don't complain about that. So actually, if you take about 16% off of that for taxes, which is 115 bucks, let's just say I made $600 last month. I work 12 hours a day, 365 days a year. It's reality. I'm not doing anything else right now. I do 4 hours of streams every morning, 7 to 11, and I do 4 hours of streams every night from 5 to 9. And in between there, I also create YouTube content as videos, and I work on the Weave in the Void. I don't make any money from the Weave in the Void. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I did want to give people some insight into the numbers because we've been talking about during live streams and everything else, and I was like, well, I'll discuss. I am going to be discussing in a separate video that's much longer than this one and goes into more detail. So I netted $600 after all the cuts and everything else, and after taxes, I netted $600 last month. I work 12 hours a day. 8 hours a day on YouTube and 4 hours a day on game dev, and it's actually more than it's like 10 hours a day on YouTube and about 2 hours a day on game dev. So whatever, that changes a little bit per day, but it's 12 hours a day. So if I work and I don't take days off, everyone notices this. They asked me the other day, Tim, don't you ever take a day off? And I'm like, I can't. Like, there's not enough money coming in yet for me to take a day off. I do have days when I don't stream twice. Saturdays I only stream once. Mondays I only stream once. But other than that, I don't take days off. I work. Crunch is a continual state of existence for me. It just is what it is. In order for me to take a day off, I have to be netting more than my bills. I have to be having enough money coming in to put money into the savings account and not just hitting the bare minimum. Until that happens, I'm not going to feel comfortable taking a day off. So let's do the math really quick. I netted $600 after cuts and taxes last month. I worked 12 hours a day. Let's take the average of 30 hours, 30 days per month, sorry. So we have 12 hours a day times 30 is 360 hours divided by $600. Um, it's actually $600 divided by 360, sorry. I make $1.66 an hour. Less than $2 an hour, ladies and gentlemen. Less than $1.75 an hour. I make $1.66 an hour. That's what I make for my time doing full-time content creation and game dev. I could be making more money flipping burgers at McDonald's or working at a gas station, but instead I'm doing this, and I like doing this. It's fine. I'm not complaining. I'm giving people some perspective into why I don't take time off yet. And they're like, yeah, but didn't you make millions with Stormhaven? No, Stormhaven Studios was a different thing. All the money that went into Stormhaven Studios went to paying contractors and everything else, and we did raise a chunk of change, and there was a lot going on there with investors and everything else, but I can't go into that because of legal reasons. A lot of money went towards lawyers too during all the fun hoo-ha stuff that went down. Um, no, there's not millions in game dev unless you're Blizzard, right? So, in any case, right now, that's what I'm making about is $1.66 an hour with everything that I do. So I need to make a lot more than that to feel comfortable taking time off. So until that time, you're going to see me a lot on YouTube, which is fine. I like what I do. But I want to give people perspective. So if you want to support, because right now, this month, we've hit the minimums, which is great. That means at the end of the month, after YouTube takes their cut and after taxes are paid, I have enough left over to pay the monthly bills for this month, which is great. And I still have a week left in the month to build a little extra. Awesome. So if you want to help out with that, here's how you do it. Super thanks on videos like this. Pick an amount, $2, $5. It all adds up. Every penny counts, as they say. And then during live streams, super chats, stickers. And let me say for the moment, thanks to all of you who have been supporting because this is my second month that we've hit our objectives, which means you're enjoying the content that I produce and you're enjoying the relationships that I'm building with Nathan and Sparrow and Bounty and Maduros and Helena and Kel and all these other people. If I missed a name in there, sorry, I'm just rambling people off the top of my head. That's awesome. I would also say this is a moment of gratefulness, but also a moment to remind everyone if you have favorite content creators that you watch on a regular basis, please support them. You know, it's not everyone is a Dr. Disrespect or an Asmongold that's bringing in tens of thousands of dollars a month from advertising revenue. A lot of us out there as content creators are only making couple $100, if that, on advertising revenue. And the things like Patreon pages and super chats and super thanks and stickers and all that, if you're on Twitch, if it's bits and subs, those all add up and those help generate revenue, because the reality is not everyone has huge numbers. We're not all out there being personalities or licking microphones or doing hot tub streams and everything else. Um, so thank you for supporting those people. And you should definitely consider supporting all of your content creator friends out there. My other phone's beeping at me, so I'm going to step off screen for just a minute as I continue to talk, because it may be my brother. You never know, because we have stuff going on today. Um, well, it's definitely Discord, so let me check out what's going on Discord over here. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, bum, bum. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody. Month of August is coming up, so looking for big things to happen during the month of August. But in the meantime, we still got a week left for this week ahead for the last week of July. So hopefully we'll continue to bump those numbers up and see good things. For those of you who helped us get our minimums this month, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Lord of the Rings Online chicken coop stuff. We have talked to some lumber places. Lumber's expensive right now, just like it is in the States. It will be cheaper for me to buy lumber from Home Depot, which is up in this city. However, the money that I would save buying lumber from Home Depot, I'm going to spend going to the city to get the lumber there. However, Home Depot has all the types of lumber I need in all the dimensions that I need, as opposed to I'm going to have to go to like 3 different local stores to try to get it sourced here, which makes it a little bit of a nightmare. Um, so I may be just going and buying everything at Home Depot. Haven't decided yet. We're also looking at doing like a big meat run and going up to the city to buy a couple $100 worth of steaks and ground beef and stuff that we can't find here locally. So we're trying to coordinate that and just do all the logistics in that so that if we do go to the city to do a big, red meat run, then we'll just go to Home Depot while we're up there. But there's also the logistics being that's 2.5 hours away. We have to see, is Home Depot even going to deliver to us in the first place because we're 2.5 hours away? What's their distance limit? Are they going to tell us to go to another store? Because there is another store that's a little closer, but it's still about 2 hours and 15 minutes away. But it's in a different state. Like, we just don't know, and we have to make phone calls. And so that's what we're in the middle of doing right now, is trying to get people to answer the phone and tell us answers so that we know. But we have done everything we can in terms of pricing lumber. The next step is just purchasing the lumber and then getting the hand tools and starting to build the chicken coop. So once that happens, we will have more videos for the members here on the channel, doing and talking about the Lord of the Rings Online chicken coop. The poll that we did last week, talking about do we want to see more homesteading stuff on this channel and say screw the algorithm, or do it on my old channel? Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing that on the other channel. I will be doing the Lord of the Rings Online chicken coop build here on this channel, but I've put too much time into building this channel up, and it's the algorithm recognizes this as a place for Rings of Power, Middle Earth, MMORPGs, RPGs, and a little bit of nerd stuff, and I kind of want to keep it that way. So I could do the Lotro chicken coop build here because that's tied to a video game, and I can very much promote that as a video game content. But the other stuff has to be done at our old YouTube channel. Now, the old YouTube channel it's youtube.com/marginal boundaries. Someone was there the other night doing a live stream, like, Tim, there's videos on here from like 2011. You're bald and you had no beard. And I'm like, yeah, I started YouTubing back when YouTube wasn't really a thing. Like, I was using YouTube as a storage space for videos, and I was pushing everybody to my blog because that's where money used to be made, was on the blog. So you push everybody to your blog. You would sell advertising space on your blog. You would have affiliate sales on your blog. You would have a newsletter and everything else for your blog. And YouTube is never more than like a storage space. So there's a ton of videos from like 2011. Chris and I, before I even met Chris, there's a lot of videos of just me. And I had left Bulgaria out of getting out of a relationship that ended poorly, and I just was like, screw this, and I shaved my head and went to Mexico, came to Cancun, and so those earliest videos, yeah, I have no hair, no beard. Then I met Chris, and she, after we were dating for a few years, a couple years, she had me start growing my hair out again, and then I grew my hair out all the way up until I cut my hair off almost 2 years ago. Um, and since then, I cut my hair off. I've been growing the beard, and then the last 6 months, I haven't even had a haircut. I've just been letting it all grow again. So yeah, you can see a lot of changes on that old YouTube channel, and a lot of Mexico content, content from Spain, content from Ireland, so on and so forth. But a lot of what we did over the years was contracts, not for our own YouTube channel. So most of what we did work-wise is never on our YouTube channel. It was just we were in a location working on contracts, and we would produce some content for ourselves. But we're going to be putting we've already done a couple little things over there on that channel, but we're going to be working on getting that channel to 1,000 followers and see if we can't get it monetized as well. Um, we're going to be doing all the videos about the journey of buying a home in Mexico and building the house, not building the house, but renovating it and doing the homesteading. All the videos I've been recording to document this place. We're going to start. I think August. I'm going to put together the first video finally. I said I might do it in July. That didn't happen, so August will be the first ones. So check it out, youtube.com/marginal boundaries. That's where we'll do all that stuff based on the poll. So thanks, everybody. Um, what else can we talk about? That's the chicken coop stuff. That's the YouTube stuff. That's the thanks everybody for the gaming stuff. So August being another month of full time. Oh, I know what we can talk about next is Weave in the Void stuff for that. So we haven't ever done a lot of publicity for that. What we have done is a lot of documentation. 3 times a week minimum on the Patreon page since March of 2021, just building stuff up. Weekly live streams on Sunday nights as we went and played through a different campaign, and now we're playing through the Weave in the Void campaign. Getting the tabletop book out, the first campaign module out, working on getting the point and click adventure game out, publishing the book through the Patreon page. All of that is a work in progress, and it has been. We launched the first product at the end of May, spent all of June starting to do the live streams, and then into July doing the live streams. Now we're getting to the point where we're doing the 6th episode. As of the recording of this, we're going to do the 6th episode tonight, which means I now have 6 fully done episodes that I can start to cut clips from. So starting in the month of August, we're going to start to promote the shit out of that Weave and Void products and the Patreon page in particular. Now, I haven't done a ton of promotion for that. You've maybe sometimes heard me talk about it during live streams, once or twice during live streams, once or twice during my regularly uploaded videos. And we will publish updates to the Discord when they come out. And we obviously have our like once weekly, sometimes twice weekly updates with our patrons over in the Discord. But as far as social media goes, it's once or twice a week updates. We don't do a lot more than that because we've just been building up. August is going to be the month that we start ramping up marketing, and this is where I'm going to say, get ready, because we're trying to build that up. That is a business that is we're hoping will eventually. So my YouTube is for me. This is my space, and I'd like to Chris to come back and do stuff with me, and she's talking about it once the kittens are a little bit older and I've got out the door. She's talking about streaming with me again, but the YouTube, this is for me. This is my thing. Now I'm happy to promote that stuff because that's a big part of what I do is the game dev. But the Renfail YouTube channel is about gaming and my stuff. This is a business that right now we're building up to support multiple people. My brother and I and my wife are obviously the Wandering Hermits. We don't get any money from that Patreon page, or we haven't yet to date. Every dollar that's come in has gone to pay contractors like Nathan and Becca, and to pay for assets from the Unreal store. We're talking with Joe from Joe Allen Music about having Joe write some original music for us. More artwork from Nathan in the future. We want Nathan to do artwork based on the Kickstarter, some other stuff. That is building up, and we're going to be starting to promote that heavily because we looked at DM Dave. DM Dave's got about 7,000 or more. I haven't looked in a while, but like 7,500 the last time I looked. 7,500 supporters on his Patreon page, 7,500 subscribers, which doing the average math on that comes out to like $35,000 a month of revenue gross. So but he's got a full team. He's got 6, 8 people, as I understand it, working for them to produce all the content. Right now, it's just 3 of us and an occasional little bit from 2 other people, Becca and Nathan, doing contract work. Now, we really want to build this up into something that can support a small team of 10 to 12 eventually. Maybe 6 to 8 on the small end, but 6 to 12, let's just put it that way. We want all of our friends to be able to come work on that project with us, and we want to continue to expand that as a company. So obviously we're starting off with, the tabletop, which is already out the door. Then we have a point and click game that'll be out this fall. There's the book series that's already being published, and that's weekly basis. Sorry, I got cat scratches here, everybody. Kitten 101. Woo! Anyway, get to see my chicken legs as I sit here. I have no shame. Not as I have more shame than Nathan does, though. If you've watched Cringe Pony, I don't take my shirt off on stream, or I haven't yet. We might get to that point, depending on how August goes. We're building that up. So if you like all the things we're doing with that, cool. Apart from that, get ready because I'm going to start promoting the hell out of that starting in August. You're going to see a lot more of that on my social media, a lot more during live streams. I'm going to promote. Had a couple people the other day complain about the everyone tag being used a lot in Discord. Sorry, my Discord is a commercial space. It's not your private sanctuary. That's a Wandering Hermits LLC Discord channel where we promote all of our Wandering Hermits products. And I also have my Renfell's Refuge section and our gaming community. Why? Because we want everybody in there because it's a commercial space for all the things that we do. We have our gaming community, but the Raven Syndicate name is from the World of the Weave and the Void, right? It's all part of the same thing, and we're pulling people into our gaming community because that's part of what we're building. It's not just about the products that that company has. It's all about the gaming community that that company has and the people involved in that project, which is myself, my brother, my wife, Nathan, Bounty Code, Sparrow, Skinny, Kel, Maduros, all these other people who are just a big part of the Wandering Hermits family. We have not been promoting the Weave in the Void a lot. We have mentioned it, but people need to understand the difference between promoting and marketing and just mentioning because we're getting ready to enter into promotional territory. So get ready. The big thing here is that we're working to build this up to $1,500 a month because at $1,500 a month, I will start writing weekly chapters, not just twice a month. I will do weekly chapters for the book. At $1,500 a month, that Patreon page will actually start generating enough income that we can actually start to use some of that for living expenses. I say some of it because the idea is roughly that once it starts bringing in $1,500 a month, we will then look at it and say 25% is business expenses and the other 75%, after taxes and everything else, we will then divide between my brother and my wife and we can start using that coupled with what I'm bringing in from YouTube, which will then allow us to get into that surplus territory of making at least a net $1,000 a month, which means I can take a little bit of time off here and there. It would be great to take weekends off, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to have weekends off like everybody else does. It's not happened yet though. So if you want to help that happen, there's lots of ways to do so beyond just my YouTube channel. There's also all the Weave in the Void stuff. But really the main goal is to get that to $3,000 a month because once we get that to $3,000 a month, I can bring Nathan into the fold on a regular basis. And so for those of you who are wanting to help Nathan with his content creation journey and help him achieve financial security enough that he doesn't have to worry about going and getting another job, this is one of the ways you could help that happen because he is in a weird way tied into this because we've already confirmed with him and it's earmarked for him that when we get to $3,000 a month, it's one of the goals on the Patreon page. At $3,000 we bring in an artist full time, and that's Nathan. Then beyond that, who knows? We've talked about bringing on another developer to work with my brother in Unreal to work on the next part of um, the video game sequence series, which is going to be an open world RPG. We're hoping, or a co-op experience. We're not exactly sure yet. We've got a couple of programmers that we've talked to and who want to work with us, but programmers don't work for free. So it's all depends on what people want to see. And there's no reason to go to publishers these days when you can do it all on your own. So we're just doing it all on our own and building up our company from scratch. So um, if you haven't already done so, and you want to and you can, I would say go over to the Patreon page and get up over there at whatever tier you feel comfortable with. There's multiple tiers. And just stick around because there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipeline this summer and this fall. And you're going to hear me promoting that a lot more in my live streams and on my YouTube channel and everywhere you see me, because this is a big part of who I am. And it's been in the back burner for a long time because we've been building all the products and building up our library. And we're finally at the point where we have enough material to start promoting. And so now it's time to actually start doing the promotions and the marketing for all that. The Kickstarter, which we thought was going to happen in July, I can be very candid about that. It's not happening in July. Here's why. Chris is Mexican. We are in Mexico. The banks are throwing a hissy fit about her not being physically present in a branch to do a physical confirmation of identity. We've been working with a couple different banks, and I thought we were going to be able to get it worked out with one bank. I had multiple phone calls with a branch manager, and they were being very cool about everything. The last phone conversation I had was on the 22nd? No, 15th. I think I said the 22nd in that Patreon post. I need to go revise that because that's not true. It was the 15th. The last phone conversation I had was the 15th of July, and he told me everything looks good. You're all confirmed. I just need to confirm Chris, but because she's Mexican, let me call up the chain and see what they say, and I'll get back to you. And I never heard back from the guy. And I sent him an email on Thursday, the 21st. It's the 24th as I'm recording this. I still haven't heard back from the guy. So we still don't have our business banking stuff finalized. And as a result, we um, can't do Kickstarter until we have an LLC bank account ready to go. I was like, well, how are you doing the Patreon? Well, the Patreon doesn't need a business bank account. So the business, it is what it is. Um, Once we get all that squared away, and people are, why didn't you just go up to the States? We may end up doing that if we have to. But the reality is it's going to cost Chris and I, to fly up. It's like $1,500 just to fly up and back. Just to go sign paperwork to open up a bank account. And that's $1,500 that we would need to take for the Patreon funds, which we don't want to do because we need that funding to go towards other things. So we're trying to get everything done over the phone if we possibly can. There's some stupidity going on right now because people are like, we're out of COVID. You need to be doing things physically once again. And it's like, well, it was fine during COVID. Why can't we still do it this way? And we'll see what happens. But as soon as we get all the confirmation on the banking stuff, we will be running the Kickstarter for the hardback stuff, which is the additional promotional material that we'll be doing as well. Cats. I suppose we can talk about cats as we wind down. We will be doing a GoFundMe for the Kitten project. And that's a separate thing that has nothing to do with YouTube and my gaming and everything else. It's the fact that, you know, I accepted a rescue cat into my home without knowing she was pregnant. She brought two kittens, and I was like, I'm okay with that. I can handle these two kittens. And then found out she was pregnant. And then it was like, oh shit. Well, now we got to worry about that. So we have been trying for 2 weeks. No one's adopting the kittens, so we gave them names, and we've just accepted that we now have 5 additional kittens. It's going to cost a minimum of $500 to get all of them spayed and neutered and all their medications and antibiotics and everything else. There's another probably $250 or more to get all their vaccines. I still haven't even vaccinated Luke and Leia. They've had all their wormers and they've had their rabies shots, and they've been spayed and neutered, but there's no extra income to pay for them to get their vaccines yet. So even Luke and Leia haven't had their vaccines yet. And their mom certainly has never been vaccinated. Again, they've all three got their rabies shots, but there's no parvovirus and all that other stuff, vaccines that they haven't gotten their vaccines because it costs, hundreds of dollars per animal to get them all. Chris was even saying, why does it cost more money to vaccinate animals than it does humans? And I have no answer to that. I really wish I had an answer. Why does it cost more money to vaccinate an animal than it does a human? I really don't know. But on top of that, we would like to build them an outside shelter because they don't need to be inside cats. You will occasionally see them on the bed in here, but we're trying not to let them in here very often. The door stays open, and they are outside, hopefully all day long. They come in and take naps, but they are outside all day now. Um, they're about to be 3 months old, coming up on 3 months old. They do sleep not in here, but they sleep in the house at night, and we close the doors and have them come in at night. But other than that, they're outside all day long. They're pooping and peeing outside. They're doing everything outside. The door just stays open. They can come and go as they please all day. We would like to build them an outside shelter so that they are not sleeping inside at night. That outside shelter is also something I would like to build to be like a cat play area. Nothing super big or super, but something that's like 3 feet wide by 6 foot long, 4 foot tall, something that has an awning on it and some walls so that it keeps them from the rain and everything else, but also has, a cat beds inside of it and some ropes and stuff that they can play on. I'd like to give them an outside shelter. And that's going to be something that costs a chunk of change. And I'm not building that by hand. That needs power tools to build. So we're going to run a GoFundMe. And if the GoFundMe only brings in enough money to spay and neuter all those little rascals, okay, then I don't build anything outside. But I would like to build them something outside because they cannot be inside cats. Luke and Leia can be inside cats. As of right now, they're like hybrid inside outside because they're going out and exploring, but they still sleep in here every night. And Luke and Leia, we hopefully will continue to have them be inside cats. But those other five need to just go with their mommy and do what they're going to do. But they have no home other than that abandoned house in the forest that we've talked about. So we would like to build them some type of home. But that's going to be something that costs, I don't know, $1,000 maybe to get all the material. Another $500 for all the power tools. Another $500 just to cover the spaying and neutering. Probably another $500 for all the vaccinations. I mean, we could be looking at like 2,500, $3,000. I have not done the final math on that, but I will be doing a GoFundMe for them sometime in August. Maybe by the end of this month I might do it. But the GoFundMe is going to be separate. I will talk about it occasionally, but I'm just basically going to get it up. And there's no time limit on GoFundMe's, so it could be up forever. And if it takes 3 months, it takes 3 months. Maybe we'll get the money in a month. We never know. But I'll have the GoFundMe up, and that's going to be something I promote everywhere with friends and family. And it's not just from my gaming channel, but like I said last time we talked about it, like I know people have told me, literally have said to me, well, you shouldn't have taken the cat if you couldn't accept responsibility. And I'm like, I didn't know the cat was pregnant when we took the cat. So you can't, I don't feel that that's a fair assessment. You could definitely say that about Luke and Leia, and we're not asking for any help with Luke and Leia. Like we're capable of handling Luke and Leia on our own. It's the 5 additional kittens that we're now concerned about because when we did the fundraiser, it was to get Luke, Leia, and Doris spayed um, and neutered, and people helped out with that. Awesome. And then there was a little extra money that we literally said during the fundraiser that's going to be used to cover the food costs for these kittens, the food and worming until these kittens are adopted. The funding is out as of the end of this month, and they weren't adopted. So now I'm stuck with 5 additional kittens, which need to become outside cats, and they need all their shots. Rabies is free, thankfully. Rabies is free, but we got to get them spayed and neutered here in another couple months. Probably the end of they're just now hitting the end of like 3 months right now, I think. Um, so the end of September will be 5 months. That will be when we can probably get them spayed and neutered. So end of September, sometime into October, we'll be able to get them spayed and neutered. And hopefully the females don't get in heat before then. Otherwise, we're gonna be screwed. That's another story. Food for thought. There is a GoFundMe coming for that later on. Um, what else can I talk about? Oh, well, let's wrap up with a fun. This cropped up during the live stream during the marathon stream the other day. Mujin had asked, would I shave my beard for $1,000 on a live stream? And I said, no, I might do it for 25 grand. And that was like, oh wow, that's a lot of money. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, I gave an explanation during the live stream, and I would like to give a better explanation here. Um, this has become an identity thing. The Renfail, the bearded dwarven princess, is now an identity on YouTube, associated with Rings of Power videos, Mondays in Middle Earth, and other stuff. So this has become the beard has become a part of the identity. There's also something called brand identity, and this has become a brand identity. It's kind of like the Duck Dynasty guys. Like they grew the beards as a joke, and then they got a show and they had to keep the beards. I don't necessarily have to keep the beard once Rings of Power is done with, because the Rings of Power stuff, I don't know that I'll continue doing it after the first show is out. And even then, the bearded dwarven princess thing no longer really applies. So at some point, I could probably cut this off if I wanted to, once the show is off the air. So October, November. But September will be the 2 year mark. So someone was, I was like, it'd be $25,000, and it's kind of like when I look at it like, if I were to get a movie role and the producers wanted me to cut the beard, I'd be like, yeah, I'd cut it off because you're giving me a paycheck. You're paying all my bills for the year, 2 years, whatever. I'll totally cut the beard off because I'm getting paid to do so. $1,000 is not enough to justify it, but 25 grand would be, because I looked at the math and it was like, let's take an average of $500 a month for 12 months. That's 12 grand. Or excuse me, for six grand for 12 months. I've been growing the beard for 2 years, so let's say it's 2 years worth of growth is what you're asking me to cut off. That's 12 grand. But then there's the brand value associated with it as well, which is at least another $12,000 on top of that. So that's where I came up with like the $25,000. That would be the minimum amount of money it would take for me to cut this off on a live stream, because I would need to secure my future for the next 2 to 3 years while the beard regrows and while I reestablish a new brand identity. Because once I cut the beard off, there's a certain percentage of my YouTube traffic that's going to disappear, because people no longer see the Renfield, the bearded dwarven princess. They see Renfield, some other dude. Which, if you've never seen me with no beard, if I can, you know, I have a weak chin. If you go back to my older Marginal Boundaries videos, you'll see me with no beard, or just like 6 weeks of growth, which looks similar to this, but not the same, and jawline and all that stuff. Who knows? But the reality is that brand identity is worth a lot, and I'm probably lowballing it when I say $25,000, because it's realistically probably up around 50 grand if you want to talk about the amount of revenue that could be generated over a 12-month to 24-month period. Um, in terms of everything that I do across all the different things that I do, because it's not just my own stuff. I participate in other people's stuff. I participate in Nathan's stuff. I participate in, you know, there's brand value is worth a chunk of change. So no, I wouldn't do it for $1,000. Um, but it was an interesting conversation, and hopefully it enlightened some people during the live stream. And with this further explanation, hopefully it enlightens some people to the value of a brand, and also looking at, estimating revenue earned over a certain period of time and how that factors in, and revenue that could be lost if it were to, if this were to get cut off and I would go back to being an unknown, unrecognizable face on the internet. Because this does absolutely factor into people tuning into my streams. You constantly get comments on, epic beard, dude, cool beard, man. Like at this point, it needs a maintenance trim. Like it's getting really scraggly at the ends. So like I should probably come in here and do like a, you know, cut some off, but I'm trying to wait till the 2 year mark. When I get to September, that's 2 years, and I'll probably do a maintenance trim and cut like 4 inches off or something. Might even be more than that. I might cut like, that's like 4 inches. Yeah, I might cut 6 inches off at 2 years, but we'll cut something off at like 2 years and go from there. Um, Food for thought. Anyway, I've talked about a lot of stuff today. Big thing is, if you want the homesteading stuff, go subscribe, youtube.com/marginal boundaries, because we're going to be doing, starting in August, I'm actually going to start to show, because we've actually done enough work here now that I can actually update a little bit. I mean, we haven't repainted and all this. It's a lot of plumbing that needs to be done, but I feel like we've made enough progress that I could at least do a few videos on the before and after stuff, and then I could also really just get people up to speed on the process of buying the property here, what it's like living here, and all that kind of stuff. Because I know from beforehand, when I was doing all the stuff in Cancun, there was a lot of interest in what is it like to live in Mexico, and but Cancun's a tourist attraction where I live is not. But insight into where I live, I can't. Again, I'm never going to say where I live. Some people might be able to decipher that through clues, but I'm never going to come out and say it, because I don't want stalkers to know where I live, and there are crazy people on the internet who will do stupid shit like swat your house and make your life hell, try to get you in trouble, hurt you even. And I just don't need that. I have enough problems with the porn spammers coming into Discord, and thankfully it hasn't happened in a couple weeks. By the way, that's not an invitation. I might see that again now that I've said something about it, but yeah, I won't ever say where I live because that's crazy stuff. You're just inviting. I feel really sorry for Boogie. For those of you who don't know, Boogie just had to go through court because he had a stalker show up, and his life felt threatened, and he fired a firearm, not at the guy, but he fired a firearm into the air to scare the guy off, and that got him in trouble because of where he lives. There are regulations against discharging a firearm, and because he shot it in the air, it could have hurt someone. Like it could have come down and hurt a kid or something like that. Luckily, no one did get hurt, but he still got in trouble for that. Um, I don't know about got in trouble, but he had to go through a long court process, and he was I finally able to talk about it a couple months back, and it was a very enlightening case study into a guy who has legitimate haters who have gone to great lengths to find out where he lives and stalk him and show up and try to do him bodily harm to the point where he felt like he needed to pull a firearm out. I don't ever want to get to that point, and so I just don't want to talk about that kind of stuff on a channel. You know, thankfully, the thing I always joke about is our house doesn't even have an address. Like I literally have a house that has no. It literally it's sin numero without number. My physical location because they never bothered to give this place a number. Which from the downside is I can't order anything off of Amazon at the moment because we literally don't have a house address and we still don't have the paperwork finalized. Like we it's been out for months. Supposedly it was supposed to be there at the end of June. It still wasn't. We're still waiting on the actual paperwork from the purchase to be finalized. Like the notary's been, they just have to wait. It's however long it takes for the federal government to get stuff back. Once we have that paperwork in hand, we can actually go to the city planning office and register this location for an actual physical address, at which point I then have to go add it to Google. Then Google takes however long it's going to take to update it in the Google database. And once that's all been done and I have an actual GPS waypoint located and tied to a domicile, I can then put that into like Amazon and order things off of Amazon. It's crazy to think about like being in a location which doesn't have a physical address, but like the hospital here doesn't even have a street address. It literally it's just on a street. Everybody knows where the hospital is, but if you look at the physical address for that location for the hospital, it says this street S/N sin numero without number. It's crazy, I know, but it's life here in the boonies. So we're 42 minutes in. This is a pretty good episode. Thanks everybody for your support. Again, super thanks if you would like to on these older videos. And of course, if you want to support during live streams, super chats and stickers. Thanks so much for getting us to our goals for the month of um, July. It's my second month of full-time content creation. We hit our minimums. Thank you so much, everybody. We still got a week to go. Let's see how far beyond we can go. Maybe give me a little extra spending money so that I don't have to stress so much. That'd be awesome. Actually put a little extra in the savings this month. That'd be cool. And of course, we'll have goals up for August, excuse me. The August goals will be the same as this month. It's going to be $750 for the super chat, plus whatever we bring in from um, advertising. The Patreon next month might be the first time, maybe it might be the first time that my brother and I might be able to look at. Oh shit! I just got a message from my brother that my little nephew got COVID. We didn't play. Um, oh, hang on. He didn't feel good last night, and I was tired because of the 12-hour stream, so we didn't play Minecraft night. And I sent my brother a message like, I just did a 12-hour stream. I'm really tired. He goes, no, it's not a big deal because Josh feels really bad. He doesn't want to play tonight anyway. He's just been laying on the couch. Um, it turns out he got COVID. Oh man, that sucks. Well, I'm ending my stream now on a slightly sour note because I found out that my nephew's got COVID. Poor little guy. I had it last January, like 6 months ago, whatever. It was not fun. And I'm triple vaxxed. I was only double vaxxed at the time, but it had been like 4 months since my last vaccination. And I got it right at the holidays when people were, it was all the Christmas crowds and everything. And I got it, and it sucked. Like, it was the sickest I've ever been in my life. Not fun. but I'm still here, thankfully. He says he feels better this morning, but he didn't eat all day yesterday at Grandma's, and today, at the very least today, he's had egg and a piece of toast. Okay. Well, I'll need to record him a message. Tell him to get feeling better. I'll do that with Chris here in a minute. Um, Poor little guy. Yeah, it sucks. It's just, we're still in it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think for a minute that we're out of it just because you've been triple vaxxed and and nobody's wearing masks anymore because everybody's sick and tired of it and whatever. I don't want to get all into the political debate about masks. Anyway, slightly sour note because my little nephew has COVID, but um, thanks everybody for support. Onwards and upwards. Let's make this month a really big month if we can. Let's see how far we can push the numbers by the end of the month. Live streams all this week happening. Don't forget to check out patreon.com/wandering hermits. Get hooked up over there because we got a lot of cool stuff coming in the pipeline with that, and we are going to be promoting the shit out of that. Because again, first goal is we're trying to get to $1,500 a month with that, and then beyond. Like I said, I think this month coming up, August, might be the first month that Joey and I can actually take some money out for ourselves. Maybe we have to wait and see. But we've paid, Nathan's been paid in full for all his work. Becca's been paid in full for all her work. We don't have any current contractors and we don't need any assets at the moment. So we're looking at maybe taking about half of what's been stockpiled and perhaps dividing that between ourselves, which would be really cool because we've been working since March of 2021 and never taken a penny for anything that's come in from anything. But we've been selling the book. If you want to get a standalone copy, weaveandvoid.com. That's been on sale since the end of May. So we've sold some copies of the book. We've gotten some more subscribers to the Patreon page. Um, it'd be nice. It would be nice, not gonna lie. It would be nice to actually have that to contribute to the living expenses. So stay tuned, everybody. Live streams coming. More stuff coming. Thanks, everybody. See you next time.